What's up, agents? Jetforth here, and yeah, I'm just not in a super fantastic mood right now, so I'm sorry if this build video isn't filled with jokes and your regular old infomercial announcer voice, because I have been trying to get this build out for the past few days, and just everything in the world that could possibly go wrong has gone wrong, leading up to today, where I have found out that my 10-year-old nephew has contracted the virus. And also in that household, I have 2 other nephews and a niece, and my brother and my sister-in-law. So I'm not sure what else to do. There's nothing I can do. I'm just kind of at a loss for words right now. Seriously, people, stay at home. Other than that, I'm not looking for sympathy or whatever, any of that stuff. It's just, I'm, kind of going out of my mind right now because there's literally nothing I can do to help in any which way or shape or form. But other than all of that, just wonderfully amazing, depressing news, I wanted to try and make this build video a little bit different than how I have in the past. But my idea for this was, since build making is really simple now because we only have 2 talents and overall build diversity is, I don't think it's as great as everybody is saying it is. I just wanted to take the time to maybe explain the build and how it works better than what I would normally do in a build video. So if you like build videos this way, definitely hit the thumbs up for me or let me know that you like it this way. This build in itself makes solo heroic stuff really incredibly easy, even a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I had zero struggle at all soloing a heroic with this, and even control points and stuff. It was just like, I was almost mind boggled at how easy it was. It definitely works in 4-man groups. I streamed the other day. I'll leave a link to that in the description box down below too, with a 4-man group, and you were just getting seekers, endless seekers over and over again. It's overall really powerful. The absolute sweet spot for this build, and in all honesty, any build and heroic in itself, is in a 2-man group. That's just the sweet spot for the game right now, where it's semi-challenging and pretty easy just to get through and farm gear and, all that other shenanigans like that. But anyways, with all that aside, we are going to use the technician mainly for the +1 skill tier, amped, because we definitely need that, and then overclock CPU plus 10% skill damage. Now for me, make sure you change this. Sometimes I use a healer stuff and sometimes I don't, but I always forget to change between enhanced diagnostics and overclock CPU. I don't know. I'm not the sharpest tool in the tool shed most of the time. As for the build itself, my whole idea behind it, I guess kind of as I was working on it, is that I wanted to get my armor way up, because being a skill builder, but yet you can't really poke your head out of cover that much, because without doing it this way and using a piece of Healer Guard, which I am using on this, you're sitting at around 700,000 armor, depending on where your watch is at. I do have my armor maxed out on my watch, and with a God rolled Healer Guard, I'm hitting 954,000.5k armor. So you're able to run around a little bit, get out of cover, poke your head out of cover more than you normally would, spray and pray your LMG or whatever you're using, which you should have spike on it. That is what I'm using. So that way you're activating that. And now that you are able to do that with this amount of armor, the NPCs are going to be focusing on you more than taking out your turret immediately. I generally haven't had that many problems with my turret being destroyed over and over again. I know some people do, but the reasoning why the NPCs are taking out your turret so fast is because you need to give them something else to shoot at other than just your turret. So this allows you to do that. I know armor right now seems like it's kind of like, it doesn't work as good as you'd want it to, but let me tell you, going from 700,000 to just under 1 million, let me tell you how much that helps. That helps a lot. So much I can't even tell you. Fire's not going to instantly kill you, even though they did nerf it a little bit, but even still sitting in that 700,000 range, it's pretty bad. So other than that, for my primary, I'm using a tactical M249 Para, I don't know, whatever, which I was lucky enough to get this the other day, actually, when I was trying to get a new holster for this, and it just can't tell you how amazingly it rolled. It rolled full God rolled with everything, except I swapped out for damage to armor, because it rolled with accuracy. Talents, spike. Headshot kills grant plus 20% skill damage for 8 seconds. There is no cooldown on this. As long as you're getting headshots, it will continually refresh over and over again, which is great to use an LMG with that on this build. You can use anything you want. If you have something really nice other than an LMG, go ahead and use it. You can use whatever you want. For my secondary weapon, even though I talked a bunch of trash about it, I am using the send-off, because once I put all this together, I generally never even thought about using a secondary secondary, so you might as well have this on there. Which you get perfectly rooted while equipped and in cover. All skill damage and healing is increased by 30% for 15 seconds. Buff is lost when exiting cover. Can occur once per 60 seconds. You just got to keep your eye on the bottom for like the little scope looking sign. That's when it's activating. So that's when you know when to cancel your turret out, throw some seekers. But generally, for the most part, you're going to be chucking seekers all day anyways. Or even if it isn't and you want to risk it for the biscuit and try and get your sniper to proc skill, then go for it. You're going to be putting out some serious damage anyways. As for skilled in itself, any of my skill builder friends can tell you that sometimes skilled is like a fat kid with a full box of Twinkies. You can just keep pulling Twinkies out over and over, chucking seekers over and over, and then you'll play a mission and the Twinkies will run out and it just will not proc for you for some reason. And it's general, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird to explain it, but I would give it like maybe like a 7 out of 10 times it's going to be giving you your seekers back over and over again. Again, when it comes to playing in 4-man, 3-man, and 2-man groups, you got to remember with Hardwired, you're going to throw out your seekers, do a ton of damage, then you're going to throw down your turret, and then you're going to get your seekers back, and then you chuck those out again. By the time you do that, your first seekers have done a ton of damage to the NPCs. The people you are playing with are doing a bunch of damage to them, so by then their health is already starting to lower, and then that second set of seekers is going to wipe them out and most likely proc skill. Again, it is a 25% chance to reset your skills, but it happens a lot more often than you think it does. And again, if it doesn't, you have Hardwired deconstruct your turret and you get your seekers back, and just, you know, continue that vicious cycle. Either way, you're going to have 10-second seekers, but a lot of the time you are just going to be able to chuck them out over and over and over again. And even if they aren't resetting, your sniper turret does a hell of a lot of damage regardless. Now when it comes to Hardwired, I'm sure you guys know what this does by now, but here it is anyways. 2 pieces, 15% skill haste, 3 pieces, 15% skill damage, and plus 15% repair skills, which we're not using on this. And then feedback loop, whenever you use or cancel a skill, your other skill is automatically refreshed and increases total skill damage and repair by 10% for 20 seconds. This can occur at most once per 20 seconds. Now with this build, you are definitely going to want to use the backpack because of the short circuit talent and decrease feedback loop cooldown from 20 seconds to 10 seconds. I mean, need I say more? As for all the gear and my pieces on this build, it's mainly just all 10% skill damage. And all the mods on my Hardwired gear is just adding extra skill haste to it to bring down my turret cooldown to, I believe, 12 seconds. But by the time your seekers are out and they're doing their thing and you have to cancel it, it's generally about 10 seconds every time. So again, backpack, god rolled skill damage, mod skill haste, gloves, skill damage, and knee pads, skill damage. And then finally, as for my holster, I'm using a piece of wyvern wear, which could have rolled better, but plus 9% skill haste and plus 10% skill damage. And then obviously with wyvern, you get the plus 10% skill damage as the brand set bonus. So pretty much that's about it for the build. My sidearm, I'm using the boomstick. Again, the drunken idiot. I know a lot of people were telling me that I need to roll off perpetuation, but for some reason, this does not show up in my recalibration station, so it will not let me roll it off. So I'm not sure why that is, why the game is treating it as almost like it's an exotic, or I don't know. I've never rolled anything on it. Other name weapons show up in here. I'm not sure why it won't let me. But again, for the chest piece, I'm using a Gila for it for plus 5% total armor, and then for the core attribute armor. As for the regular attributes on it, I'm overall very happy with the plus 12% skill haste. I would very much like to see another 10% skill damage here as opposed to the armor regeneration, though the armor regeneration is nice, I will tell you. And then my mod, I'm just using armor on kill, which is actually really nice for it. So regardless, I would definitely give this build a shot, especially for skill builders, or you just want something to breeze through heroics with or make your life easy, because this thing just absolutely slaughters everything really quickly, like really quickly, and I'm overall a lot more pleased with it than I thought I was going to be. Hardwired in itself is definitely fixed now. I have been using this for the past 2 or 3 days. I have had 0 problems with it, and also some of my friends have been using it too, and they haven't had any problems with it. If for some reason you do and you're not getting 10-second cooldowns, I guess the old trick before was to put the backpack on first, then everything else. But I've been switching between builds. I even did some DZ stuff on Twitch last night, and you know, it works well now, thankfully. I guess I should let y'all get a look at my skills here for a second. I'm just using the sniper turret, +1 sniper ammo, plus 3.9% damage, and then a 6.7% skill haste. And then on my clusters, it's plus 4.8% damage, plus 4.2% damage, and +1 seeker mine. So it's pretty straightforward. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the entire build. Hopefully this all makes sense, really. So for your primary, you're just going to want to use spike. For your secondary, I would suggest the send-off. Like I said, I know I talked a bunch of crap about this, but you're not really going to be using your secondary all that much. So might as well have the send-off there with perfectly rooted. And yeah, Heliguard with skilled on it, and yeah, the hardwired backpack, so that way you have a short circuit. So just remember, you chuck out your seekers, let them hit, throw down your turret, get your seekers back, throw out your seekers again. You will most likely proc skilled. Skilled will give your seekers back again. If they don't, deconstruct your turret, get your seekers back, and just continue that vicious cycle over and over again. And that is pretty much it for the build, you guys. Like I said, I would highly recommend trying it. Again, if you like this shorter version of how I put this build together, let me know. Again, I'm really distraught right now, so may have seemed overly babbling. I don't know. I apologize for that, but I'm sure if you were in my shoes, you would probably be feeling the same way. But if you could hit the old like button for me, that would be super awesome. Subscribe and all that other junk, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace.
Agent vital signs, 0.
He didn't have to die here. That bastard can't have gotten far yet. Go after her. There is nothing you could have done for Espinosa.